Hey everybody, this is Miss Ellington. How are you? Good. Okay, we're going to start our first week working on our packets. And this week we're going to be talking about reading skills, okay? Okay, so while I'm talking about reading skills, I want you to get a piece of paper and a pencil and take notes while I talk, okay? Okay, I'm going to give you a second to get your notes together. Okay, so first, reading skills. Does anybody know what reading skills are? Okay, reading skills are skills that are going to be used to help us read, and we're going to answer important questions after we read. So reading skills, write that down, are going to help us read. Okay. The first reading skill that we're going to go over is connecting to the story. Okay, so write this down. Number one, connect to the story. Okay, I'll give you a second to write that down. All right, when we connect with the story, we're going to read the story and we're going to think. We're going to think in our head something about our life. So if I'm reading a story about Disney, I'm going to connect to that story and say, I've been to Disney. I love Disney. So I'm going to put my life into the story, and that's how I'm going to connect with it. Okay? Another example. Say if you're reading something about learning math with your teacher in your classroom, you can think, I am at Holmes Middle School, and last year I would work with my teacher, either Miss Ellington, Miss Hill, Mr. Milner, or if you were at a different school, you were working with a different teacher. That's okay too. You would think, I've learned math with my teachers before in school. I am connecting to the story. Okay? So make sure you have connect to the story. Our number two reading skill that we're going to remember while we're doing our packets is ask yourself questions. Questions. Yep. These questions that we're going to ask ourselves, who? Okay. I know it's probably hard to see. I'm sorry about that. We're going to ask who. So we're going to ask who. Who's the main character? Who are the characters? Are there more than one character? Are there two characters? What are their names? So we're going to ask who the characters are. So if you're reading a book about, let me think of a book. Let me go grab a book. Okay, so we're reading this book, a SpongeBob book. Who's going to be the main character in this book? SpongeBob. Yep, SpongeBob is our main character. So you're going to ask who are the characters. Next, you're going to ask where. Okay. Okay, where? Again, I know that's hard to see, but just follow along with me. Okay, you're going to ask where. Where does the story take place? This is called the setting, okay? So you're going to read a book and you're going to think about where the story takes place. Again, if we're reading this book, SpongeBob, where do you think this is going to be taking place? If you've seen SpongeBob, where is the story going to be taking place? You might say Bikini Bottom, where SpongeBob lives. Or you might say the Krusty Krab, where they all work. Okay? You're going to be thinking about where the story takes place. Next question is when. When. When? When does the story take place? This one might be a little difficult to answer depending on some stories. You might have to guess. They may not actually specifically say where the story or when the story takes place. So if you're reading a book, this one wouldn't be a good example. If you're reading a book and it's talking about snow and it's really cold and you have to bundle up, when do you think that story is taking place? What season? Fall, summer, winter? It'd be winter, right? Winter is snow, okay? So you're going to think about kind of the season, what time of year and when it's taking place. And that one is going to be a little bit harder. You're going to have to really think about that one because it may not specifically say in the story, but you can think about it. It's part of your reading skills. Okay, the last one, you're going to think what? Okay, what? What is the story about? Okay, this one you're more thinking towards the end after you've read everything. What is the story about? You're going to summarize. And summarize means what? What do you think summarize means? Okay. Summarize means that you're going to explain the whole story as if you're going to read a story and you're going to explain it to me like I haven't read it. I've never read the story. You're going to explain it. Give me all the details, okay? So that's going to be your what. What is the story about? Okay? That is it for Ask Yourself Questions, okay? Remember who? Who's the story about? What's the main character? Where? Where does the story take place? Bikini Bottom, a school, your house, a different house, a city. Where? When? When does the story take place? Remember, this one is a hard one. You might have to think about it. It's probably not going to say what exact season, but if you know that it's snowing outside, you know that it's what? Winter, okay? And last one is what? What is the story about? Explain it. Summarize it, okay? Explain what the whole story is about, just like you're telling the story to someone who's never heard it before. Okay, and last one, number 3. To me, this one is the most helpful to me because I love to do this. Okay, you're going to visualize. Visualize. Who knows what that word means? Visualize. It's a challenging word. Okay? It means that you're going to imagine what the whole book is about, okay? You're going to be reading the book, thinking about the characters, thinking about the setting where the story takes place, and you're going to imagine it in your head, like you're creating a movie in your own head, okay? You're going to read about the book. Say if you're reading a book about SpongeBob, you're going to imagine SpongeBob in your head and Patrick and Mr. Krabs and everybody in the book. You're going to imagine them in your head. And what they do, you're going to replay that in your head and visualize it. Okay, just like you're watching an episode of SpongeBob. Or you do this with any story. Okay, it's all your imagination. You can make the main characters out who you want to be. But you're going to be visualizing the story, making it come to life. Okay? So those are our reading skills. Okay? We're going to go over them one more time. Make sure you have all your notes, and then we're going to get started on our packets. Okay? Okay. So we learned about what? Reading skills. Okay? Number 1. What was our number 1 reading skill? The first one we learned about. Okay? Connecting to the story. You're going to connect to the story. Okay, you're going to think about you're going to put yourself in the story and think about, have I had this experience before? Remember, if the story is about you being in a math class, about somebody being in a math class, you're going to think, I've went to Holmes Middle School and I've learned math with my teachers. Okay, you're connecting to that story. You're thinking about your life and relating it to the book that you're reading. Okay, what's the next one? Number 2. Number 2. You're going to ask yourself questions. Ask those important questions while you're reading the text. Okay? First one is what? Who? Who are the main characters in this book? Who are the main characters? SpongeBob. SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward. Okay? You're going to think about all the main characters in the book that you're reading. Okay? You're going to think about those in your head. You can jot them down if you need to. That's going to be one reading skill. What's the next one? Where? Okay? Where does the story take place? What's the setting? Okay? Can be anywhere. It can be, depending on what story you're reading, it can be at a school, it can be at a playground, it can be in a city, Bikini Bottom, like SpongeBob. Okay? Where does your story take place? Next one. When. Remember, this one might be tricky for some of them. Okay, it may not specifically say when, but if you read, and it's sunny and it's hot, and somebody's at the beach, you know it's summer. If it's cold and snowy and icy and people are throwing snowballs, it's what? Winter, okay? You're gonna think when. What season? When? What time of year? Next one. What? Okay? This is what is the story about. This is where you're gonna summarize. You're gonna tell the whole story to somebody just like they've never read it. Okay? Last one, number 3, my favorite one. Which one? Visualize. Yep. You're going to imagine the characters. You're going to imagine the setting. Okay? You're going to think about it in your head. I think that in the story, the main character, maybe her name is Peyton. You know, I think Peyton has long blonde hair. I think she's kind of short, very outgoing, talkative. Okay, maybe that's how you describe Peyton. And then you're going to keep describing and thinking about these characters as if you're creating your own TV show or your own movie. Okay, and you're going to visualize that and help you understand it. Okay, we're good? We're good. Okay, so now you're going to be completing your packets. In your packets, you're going to have several different stories, okay? These are stories that I pulled from a book of mine. You're going to read the story. You're going to remember all of these reading skills that you have written down, hopefully, and then you're going to read the story, okay? And you're going to think about all these reading skills. You're going to visualize it. You're going to connect yourself to the story. And then, once you read the story and you read all the questions that you're going to have to answer, the questions should be fairly easy for you, okay? If you use these reading skills, they should be easy, okay? So that's what you're going to be doing this week. That's what's in your packet. If you have any questions, if you need any help, if you need me to go over this again with you, you can call me, you can text me, you can email me, okay? We can set up a meeting on Zoom, just like this, and we can talk. We can go over it again. And you can watch this video as many times as you need to, okay? You can pause, you can rewind, you can start it over. You can do whatever you need to do to help you get this packet done, okay? And then next week we'll be focusing on math, okay? So this week is reading skills. You can watch the video, text me, call me, email me, whatever you need, I'm here, okay? Good luck and have a good week.